Okay. So Bob is on the line too, and Bob is one of the guys that told me about this. And Bob made a very significant six-figure income his first 6 months. And Bob has never done a business like this where he's made so much money. And he really didn't want to do this as a business. So Bob, why don't you just tell us your story? Because it's probably better if you tell it than if I tell it. And go ahead. Sorry.
How's everybody doing out there today? Wherever you're at in the world. Everybody good?
Yeah.
All right, good. So I know we're all under these unique circumstances. And like I've been sharing with a lot of people, we got started in our business we just had our 13-year anniversary, April 27th. We started in 2007, and that's when the financial crisis was happening, 2007, 2008. You know, anybody who was involved in, like you, John, mortgage, real estate, construction, finance, things were collapsing, the financial bubble. And so that's
the screen who still getting black.
Oh, there we go. So that's when a friend of mine introduced me to Enagic in April of 2007. After seeing a product demonstration, just like I think anybody, if they have any common sense up here, I couldn't go back to drinking bottled water anymore. I understood living water, dead water. And I was drinking dead water, just like everybody else. And so I invested in an SD501 just as a customer. I had no intention of buying, getting involved in the business. I had been through a number of other opportunities that, maybe like many people out there didn't work out. And so I had a job that was keeping me very busy. I had to travel around the country. And wasn't home in California very much. I was kind of based out of Houston, Texas at that time. And so I just got this for personal use, started drinking the water, noticed more energy, sleeping better, no more swelling in my knees when I'd run or work out. And then I lost 10 pounds in 4 weeks. So I was 49 years young at the time. And I never noticed that from drinking water before. So I did what we all naturally do when something good happens to us. Of course, that's start telling the people we care about, even though I was not interested or not thinking about it as a business. And of course, when something good happens to us, we share it with our closest friends and family. And that's what I did first. And without the intention of that anyone was going to get involved in the business, one of my good friends introduced it to them, and his wife had to have one once she saw the demonstration. And his parents got amazing results, and it kind of took off from there. He took off really quick and started sharing it with everybody. And so just from one or two people initially, just as a consumer, it started to take off in the first month. And I got a substantial check just from the first person I introduced that next 30 days. And so that's what got me to take a look at the business, of course, because my machine was more than paid for in the first 30 days. And so I just started exposing. So when I first saw my product demonstration, and I have to share this because it was 2.5 hours long. The guys were experts. Michael Maxwell was a water expert, been in selling, water softeners for 20 years. And then Eli Daffish was like a motivational speaker, owned his own, company before in the network marketing industry. So I got these two experts, so much information, 2.5 hours long. They're experts. I sat in the back of the room thinking, oh, I could never do that presentation because it's too good. So I tell you guys this for a reason, because some of you may be getting, some of you that are new, some of you that are new, maybe you're just getting started, but some that have been in the business a while, you may be getting too good at what you do. And I say that for a reason, because in my head, because it was such a good demonstration and too long, too much information, I thought I could never do it. So what actually got me doing the business was my first 1A sale. My good friend Danny Ciccarella out of Houston, Texas, he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know anything more than me because he bought a machine the same day I did. He didn't have any help. No, there was no office in Houston. All he had back then, 13 years ago, we had one simple little DVD, which is obsolete today. And that's all the tools that we had to show the demonstration. And Danny got so excited about what the water did for his parents, he massively went out and exposed 50 people in the first 30 days with that DVD, and then got them drinking the water. And the guy had 27 sales in the first 30 days. So needless to say, I got 27 checks in the mailbox. And so my machine was more than paid for. So what did that get me to see and identify? It got me to think past that you don't have to be an expert, right? You don't have to really know anything if you have the tools that you can utilize that do the job for you. And so what Danny got me to see was a simple, duplicatable way that I could expose people in Los Angeles where I was, and basically on vacation for 30 days before I had to go back on my job, and in Houston and all over the country, because Danny was actually my boss and, old-time friend. And so now I started massively copying what he did. I went out and exposed out of probably 60 or 70 people in the next 30 days. And it just exploded after that next 30 days. I was able to call Danny Ciccarella up and say, can you afford to give me a raise this much? And I just made in 2 months what he paid me in a year. And what would you guys do? Of course, the same thing I did, right? Call him up and say, I can't afford to go back to work for you anymore. And I resigned. And I just kept doing the same thing over and over, exposing people. Over the next 90 days, I used that DVD just to get in front of as many people as I could to show the demonstration and show the technology. Some of them had to try the water, some of them didn't. But that's what I did for 90 days, and we got to 6A in 90 days just doing that plan. A simple, duplicatable plan that anybody could do. And so people started copying me, just like I copied Danny. They saw, wow, if that's all Bob is doing, he's getting in front of as many people as possible, pressing play and showing a DVD, I can do that. And that's why our team took off really fast. And we were able to hit a 6-figure income actually in the 4th month. We hit a 6-figure income. And then, of course, by the end of that year, from April through December of 2007, I think our total income from Enagic showed about 300 and something. But, some of those were Enagic finance, so we didn't get the money yet. So I think our actual income was about what John said, about 250,000, between 250 and 300,000 for the first, from April to December of 2007. And what was happening then? The economy was crashing, right? I think about back then, the decision I made to invest $4,000 in an SD501, it changed a lot of people's lives had I not made that decision, because they might not have heard about Enagic because they wouldn't have heard about it through me, of course. Danny Ciccarella wouldn't have got involved and got a machine. And now it's spread to, and that saved so many people that were crashing in that economy. It was like a life raft coming to them in time of need. People that I knew, their homes were in foreclosure, people that were in real estate, that had no more income, and they jumped on board with us, and they utilized Enagic and this incredible technology and business plan to take over what they were doing before, and took that from not making money to now they had an opportunity to do something else and to replace that income that they had just lost. And it saved a lot of people's homes. It saved their probably marriages, saved all kinds of things. So I think about that decision 13 years ago, was a fortunate decision that I'm glad I made. And we think about those decisions we make today, you know, little decisions that we make can transform not only your lives, but other people's lives that you haven't even met yet, especially what's going on right now. So think about the economy back then. The economy was crashing because of financial crisis. It was affecting maybe a certain segment of, you know, the financial industry. Okay, that segment of businesses, real estate, mortgage, construction, but it wasn't affecting every business, was it? It wasn't affecting people's health like today, you know. So think about today, what we're going through with this coronavirus, and it's shutting down, you know, in my lifetime, there's never been anything like this that has shut down the world's economy. And if you think about what's going to happen over the next, you know, number of months, you know, I just saw, I don't know what it is globally, but just in America, I think the last report was 30 million people have lost their jobs or been laid off. You know, we don't know if they're going to get them back. You know, a certain percentage of them aren't going to get them back. And so globally, just think about that. I would estimate it's going to be hundreds of millions of people losing their jobs or businesses or whatever their source of income was. So I was watching some social media guys training last week. And while we're online on a Zoom, they were showing, you know, something, how they can search for what people are searching online today. And they showed work from home, because where's everybody stuck? At home, right? So they showed search from work from home and work from home business. And those two graphs that they showed were kind of flatlining until a couple of months ago, they spiked like it was going almost straight up, what people were searching. And so I can't tell people enough how we are so in the right place at the right time, already being involved in Enagic and having the product that we have. You know, not all companies, you know, our industry, I'm hearing from sources, our whole industry is up over the last couple of months, the direct sales or network marketing industry. But we have a product that maybe other people have products that are really not essential, I'll say, you know, that people can do without, right? But we have a product that is a necessity, the way I look at it. Our sales, we had a record sales out of our Los Angeles office. Was it last month? We're May, April. I don't know what the numbers are for April yet. For March, we had record sales somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 units just out of our Southern California office. And as things are getting worse, right? So why is that happening? Because it's already starting to happen where people are looking for a plan B. People are, not only do we have a plan B, but we have the, you know, what's the philosophy of our company? To spread the message of true health. True health is physical health, first and foremost. So we have the products for that, right? Yeah. And why are people scrambling to get our units now when they didn't before? Because, you know, we have a necessity. We have water. Without water, you die. You know, and so we have the best water. We have a living water over dead waters that everyone else is getting. And then, you know, and then people are scrambling because they understand the power of hypochlorous acid water to kill bacteria. Even though we can't say the C word, right? We can show them, you know, other studies that have been done. You know, you can find all kinds of studies by, you know, just searching hypochlorous acid water and the benefits. And so we have, and then we have our, you know, our Ukon product, which is an unbelievable product for helping to protect the cells from, you know, outside sources, anything that's trying to damage our cells. So we have something that everyone's trying to do. They're talking about boost your immune system, right? So we have about the best product that you can have to help boost your immune system. You know, something that's donating, you know, free electrons to the body to neutralize free radical damage. And so, and then we have, you know, the best business plan, our 8-point patented compensation plan, along with the other 9 avenue sources of income. We'll just, you know, talk about the 8 points. The 8 points is designed so that someone could get started. So just think about people, millions of people who need a plan B, who, you know, need to move fast, I'll say. So just like, oops. Oh, hey, there, I touched my screen. Now I can see you guys all. I was just seeing me at first. Sorry, guys, I'm on a cell phone doing this. One of my kids are homeschooling in the other room, and my wife's doing something on the computer here in the office. And so I'm on my cell phone. So think about the 8 points. The 8 points is designed so that someone who has the desire and willingness to work and take action right away can bring in money quickly, okay? And that's what it's designed for. Just like us, in our first 3 months, we had, you know, it takes 100 people, you know, 101 people to get to 6A, right? So we had, even though I only brought in the first 3 months, I think I brought in 7 people total. But working with a handful of those 7, a couple of those were just consumers. Maybe with 4 or 5 of them, we generated 100 sales. And so we got to that 6A point. So you can calculate, even in the compensation plan, on someone's journey from 1A to 6A, those 100 sales, you know, based on where they fall from 1A to 6A, you can earn anywhere from approximately $60,000 to, you know, $80,000 on that journey to 6A. So if someone can move fast, right, they can generate income quickly in time of need, like a lot of people are going to now and the coming months ahead. And so, you know, that's what I'm trying to show people. It's not a time to be afraid of what's going on. It's a time for those of us to now take action even more than we did before and spread the message of true health around the world. So, you know, if we don't know, just like me, you know, I built my business, I'll call the old-fashioned way. And that's like Mr. Oshiro did, you know, belly to belly, face to face, product demonstrations. And we worked hard for the first 2 years. I always tell people it's a 2 to 5 year plan. The faster you work, the faster that plan gets into action, the faster you build a base, a solid base. That team we built 13 years ago by working nonstop for the first 2 years is growing today exponentially, whether we work or not. So this, you know, whole idea of being stuck at home is no big deal to us because I kind of semi-retired when I got married 7 years ago and then started having kids. I got little Isabella, who's 6 now, and Armani, who's running around here playing, is 4. And so I kind of semi-retired, and we've been working from home mostly. And so now, why am I learning more about social media? Because of what's going on in the world. I'm taking this time now to start learning, educating myself, to get better on how to market online, because that's the wave of the future, right? It's in front of us right now. It already started. And so the world is our office, you guys. As Daniel D. McCauley always says in some of his trainings, mankind is our business, the world is our office, but he's still our boss. And so I'm taking this time to learn social media and to, you know, sharpen my skills so I can reach more people that are going to be out there looking. It doesn't matter where they are, you know, and the more this goes on, I don't know how long it's going to go on, but I think things are going to be different moving into the future. Even as things open up, who knows if it's going to happen again, and you know, the governments try to do this to us again. So we all have to plan ahead for being able to communicate and market and share our story That's what I was watching with my wife earlier, a social media training about, effectively sharing your story and getting out there, online and being able to share your story to a lot more people. So unlike how we built our business, I'll call it, even though our business grew fast, today's standards of what they're doing in social media, I'm going to say it was slow. One-to-one, belly-to-belly, face-to-face. Now, just like here, right? I couldn't do this before getting to meet you in Germany, in some other part of California. I don't know if some of the team's on from New Zealand, Australia, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We do? Okay. So now we can communicate with, people it doesn't matter where we're at. You guys, we set up you set up a home office or anywhere in your home, whether it's your cell phone, computer, iPad, whatever it is, we can start communicating and sharing our story, getting the message out to the masses, because more and more people are going to need to hear your stories. And I'm sure you guys are already creating stories. And that's what this business is all about. It's just, it's stories. People want to hear your story. What I learned today a little bit listening to this social media guy, and when you convey your story, we were getting a little, some people see today our story is much different than when I started 13 years ago, right, John? I'll backtrack a little bit, guys, so you just get, an idea. So I'm coming out of a job that I didn't like. That's most people in the world, right? I'm on break from that job because we did big contracts for the military, airlines, and large corporations solving their bird problems. And yeah, like flying birds. My buddy is an ornithologist, means he solves bird problems. And it's a unique business. It wasn't easy. Sometimes I'm working with a crew in a man lift, 60 to 100 feet in the air, utilizing heavy equipment, shooting steel pins into beams, hanging nets all over the place, and these products that would keep birds out of nesting in hangars of military hangars, airline hangars, things like that. Not an easy job. Matter of fact, at one job, I'll just tell you guys this, I almost resigned. I almost quit because it was so nasty. We actually literally had to clean and get rid of about a foot of bird crap. Look at John. I don't think I ever told him that story. And we're somewhere in Mississippi, and it's hot and humid and sweating and just nasty. It's that show Dirty Jobs. I think that could be on one of those shows. Only one time in my career with Danny did I have to do that, but it was nasty. And I almost quit. And so, but I'm on break from this job. Do I want to really go back? No. I missed California. I grew up in Chicago, moved to California when I was 28, and that was when did I move to California? I forgot. I don't know, a long time ago, 30-some years ago. And I missed California. I missed the beach. And I'm in hot, humid Houston, Texas, and live in most places around the country for 3 months at a time. And so I'm here home on break, and that's when I was exposed to Enagic. That's when I took off and ran with it. But you guys, before that, life wasn't always easy. There was a point, just like most people, a job I didn't like. I had attempted this industry a few other times and got involved in a couple companies and, had some success, then the company go out of business. Had some success, company go out of business. And that, finally crushed me, and, my car got repossessed. I was living at my friend's house, and that's when Danny, offered me my job to come work for him, and my income went down to about $1,000 a month. And that's when he offered me the job to go work for him. So I say that because that's what I'm learning. When you're sharing your story, people don't want to hear about just how successful you are today. They can't relate to that. They want to they want to relate to you, and that you relate to them and where they are today, and that you were also there once, and that there's a way out for them, right? So they need to hear from your heart, your story of what you did, what were your struggles, you know, where you were in life, then what happened to you because, you know, this opportunity, you know, how you were introduced and what happened. So it needs to share the whole story from the lowest end of the story and then coming into the better end of the story so that they can see there's hope, you know. And, you know, like I can say to people, if I did it, you know, coming from where I was, you know, they look at you and say, maybe there's a chance for me. And that's what get people to take action. And so anything else you want me to share, John? You guys, now we have a business that the last report I looked at, it's over 100,000 people, 100 and some thousand people. It's growing by thousands, almost 2,000 to 3,000 every month. Like I said, whether we work or not. But now we're kind of kicking back into gear because of what's happening, and more people need us more than ever to go back to work. So that's my message to people. The ones that have made it in our teams, my message to them is it's time to go back to work.
Thank you, Bob. That's awesome. You know, when I was introduced to this, as you guys know, seeing Bob for the first time and seeing the checks, there's a stack of checks that he had, just the checks, and he allowed everybody to look through them. And I was looking through them, and I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, this guy? So this you know, 'cause Bob, you never made more than $60,000 a year. Is that correct?
At my job, it was, yeah, right around there. But I had made in another company I was in, I had made over 100,000. But, you know, the company went bye-bye because it was one of those new companies. And most new companies don't make it.
Yeah. So, and just in your first 6 months, made over $250,000. And
yeah, April, something like that, 7 months, 8 months.
And I knew the momentum from where you started that would just carry over. And so that I made it my plan when I started this business to become 6A. And my second goal was 6A2. And I thought, once I hit 6A2, I'm just going to kind of retire and that's going to be good. Well, 6A2 happened in 15 months. And I honestly feel like I haven't worked a day in the last 12 years since I started because it's been so fun. And once I hit 6A2 in 15 months, it was just, you know, I'm having such a great time. I'm meeting people. I'm traveling all over the world. This is great. And just kind of carried on. And it's just been like snowball effect.
You guys, nobody on my team travels more than John. Every time I look, except maybe now. Yeah. He's probably getting antsy because he's not traveling like he normally does. But you're absolutely right. One of my friends said, you know, I told him, hey, we're working really hard. We're working from like 8 in the morning till faint at night. He goes, you don't work. I go, what do you mean I don't work? He goes, you get paid to socialize. I go, yeah, you're kind of right. It's not really work. My last job, you guys, was work. This isn't work. This is fun. So John's right. When you love what you do, you never have to work a day in your life. Yeah.
So, but you know, what Bob touched on is, and what Wade Lightheart was talking about was when you talk to people, ask them what their economic insurance plan is, because most people don't have an economic insurance plan and didn't expect anything like this to happen. And when you have, at least I know in the United States, Europe, but pretty much for New Zealand, Australia, when a person has a part-time job like this, let alone they got a regular job, they got a part-time job like this, they can use it as a total tax write-off. And if they lose their main job, they can fall back on this. So just, for instance, in the United States alone, a person can save anywhere from $2,000 to $30,000 a year just on their taxes by write-offs of the car, of part of their house, their phone bill, their travel, which is great. So the machine basically pays for itself in the first 2 years. Now, also another thing I want to talk about too is this is kind of like a basic thing about Kong and water. And first of all, the number one thing that you don't want to do is tell people how much it costs. Right, Bob?
True.
And why is that?
Well, you don't want to scare them away.
Yeah. So what happens is if a person doesn't know, people just think of this as a water filter. Okay. We know it's an actual certified medical device. When you tell somebody, because people think that water is just water. So the number one thing in this business is you never tell them the price of the machine until they've seen a live demonstration or they've seen a demonstration online and they understand it. Once they understand it, then they'll know the value of it. But if you tell them the price, people say, oh, if you tell them, hey, and I've done this, I know Bob's done this too when he first started off, and we talk to people and you tell them about this, oh man, it's great, and it creates antioxidants, and it's so great for your body. And the person always says, well, how much is it? How much is it? How much is it? And then you tell them $5,000. Once you tell them $5,000 or $3,000, whatever, it completely shuts them off. They will not want to talk to you anymore. They don't care about the water anymore, and you can't turn the conversation back on again. Okay, that's the most important thing. Okay, so what I tell people is that they keep pressuring me. I say, hey, listen, I've got this water. I tell them about it for the first time. Okay, well, how much is it? Well, listen, I don't have a whole lot of time to tell you about this, but I want to show you give you some information so you can look it over. Well, how much is it? If they keep pressuring you, what do? You just set up a time where you can actually sit down and watch a presentation together, or watch a webinar where somebody explains the water and actually does a demonstration. But until then, you don't want to tell them the price of the machine. So you say, listen, I want to set up a time where I can actually show this to you. We can sit down, I can explain it. And then once you explain it to them and they've seen, basically, we make this really simple. All you do is hit play and send them a link where they can watch it. The best thing to do is to watch it with them. Okay, so you make a time where you can watch it with them. If you can't, say you're 300 miles away from them, they're in another country, whatever, have them watch the video, okay? Once you watch the video, which is like a 30-minute video, then you can call them up, ask them if they have any questions, talk to them a little bit more about it, and then if they bring up price, then you can tell them the price. Now, if a person keeps on pressing and pressing and pressing and says, I need to know the price, to keep really bugs you about it and says, what's the price? Then I simply tell them it's $45 a month. Okay. In the United States, a person can finance a machine with any type of bank, Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, whatever. Okay. Bank pays for it. And then you pay the bank $45 a month to repay that loan. Okay. So that's what I tell people. I don't get into it. And then they always say, well, is this, yeah, I say, yes, it's a financing that we do. Well, how many years? Then listen, let's you know, you always get some people that are just like persistent. How much is it? How much is it? How much is it? It's like, shut up. You know, you're not going to, first let me explain.
Probably can't afford it anyways.
Yes. Yeah.
I told someone that before.
Yeah. That's another good line you can use it with people too. You say, well, you couldn't afford it. So, but I want to show it to you. Okay. What does that do? That switches their train of thought. And what they're thinking is, well, if John bought it and I make more money than John, or John doesn't make that much money, whatever, I can certainly afford it, right? That's what they're thinking. So then they're thinking, well, so now it's like you've actually turned the tables on them. So now they're being sort of competitive and like, oh, well, wait a minute, if you got it, I can get it. You know, nothing you can do that I can't do, type of thing. Okay, so that's number one, is never tell them the price. And this business is very simple. What if Bob went on, bought his machine with his friend Daniel bought his machine from Bob. Bob went on vacation. Daniel that month sold 24 machines. Bob came back.
27.
27. Okay, even better. 27. Bob had 27 checks in the mail for large amounts of money, which more than paid for his machine. And so Bob's like, well, I didn't want to do this as a business. I just bought the machine for my friend who had cancer. So hey, I might as well do this. Calls his friend Daniel up and says, Daniel, how did you sell these? You know what Daniel told him? I showed them a DVD. 27 people watched the DVD. Daniel didn't do a presentation. They just watched the DVD, which now DVDs are pretty much obsolete, right? I got a computer. It doesn't have a slot for the DVD. And my new Apple, it's like, there's no DVD. So
they went bye-bye.
Yeah, which makes it easier because you can just send them a link. They can watch it on their phone. They can watch it on their computer, etc. And so once they watch that, now they're like, wow. The whole thing is, you know, I've got some great information out there if you can just get them to watch it. So that's why we suggest you make a time and you sit down and watch it with them. Once they watch it, then ask questions, call them, what'd you think? What'd you like best about it? Okay, great. So again, show them the demonstration with a video link. Okay. Now, if they're close by, what they usually like to do is, I'd really like to try that water out. Okay. So you can actually try the water. You can let them try the water, which is how we built our business. I was giving out literally about 50 gallons a week. And that's when I first started. I know Bob was doing the same thing. We were giving out about 50 gallons a week. I don't do that much anymore because people get it. People have heard about this. People know about this now, so it's a little bit easier. But the way this business was built, the way Bob built it, the way I built it was have them watch a video demonstration or do a live one, even better, and then give them the water. Say, okay, now I'm gonna let you try it out for 2 or 3 weeks and see what you feel. Now, when you give the water out to people, you let them try it for 2 to 3 weeks, and you tell them, I'm gonna let you try this out. You tell them, I'm gonna let you try this out for 2 or 3 weeks, and after 2 or 3 weeks, after your trial is done, then you can decide whether you want to get a machine or not. Okay, but you're gonna experience more energy, body fat loss, etc. And if they have more physical health elements, and you can tell them, you're gonna get great results from that too. Now, 2 things when you give them the water. Number 1, you got to make sure they're drinking enough. Okay. At least they should be drinking about 1 liter of water per 20 kilograms. Okay. Or 1 ounce of water per pound of body weight in United States terms, because we use gallons and ounces, and Europe is liters. Okay. And number 2 is they're not drinking sodas or any other thing that's going to hinder the results, because we know that those are extremely acidic, and we don't want them drinking that because the results, they won't get as good of results. So those are 2 things. And then once they're drinking the water, they're going to get really good results. After 2 or 3 weeks, you come back and they're like, oh yeah, you know, I lost 20 pounds. Oh, my arthritis is so much better. You know, all this stuff's going to happen to them. And then you say, great. Now, once you ask them, once you finish giving them the water, you say, this is a very key phrase in the way I say it. And what you say is, are you ready to start drinking the water out of your own machine? Okay. Very important that you say it that way, I think. Are you ready to start drinking the water out of your own machine? They're either going to say yes. They say yes most of the time. Yes. Okay, great. Let me get the paperwork out, and you write them up and they're ready to buy the machine. If they say no, then you simply tell them, oh, okay. Well, you just told me that, you know, you lost 20 pounds and your arthritis is so much better. Okay, well, listen, why don't we try you without the water for 3 or 4 weeks and then see how you feel, see if you notice a difference. And what happens is 90% of the time, they will call you within a day, 2 days, 3 days. They will call you within 3 days and say, and this happens all the time. John, oh, listen, man, I've been without the water for 2 days. I can totally feel the difference. I'm feeling sluggish. I feel horrible. I got to get that machine. When can you come by? When can I sign the paperwork? Every single time. Okay. I'm telling you, I'll give you an example. I had a guy who had gout, really bad gout, where if you know about gout, it's acidic buildup in your feet, what happens. And you feel like you're walking on needles. And this guy got rid of his gout, which he's had for years and years and years. Well, he went to Costa Rica, where his wife's family lives, and comes back. Now, I know he's been without the water for 2 weeks. I know he's hurting. I know he's just in pain because he's been without the water for 2 weeks. And I was waiting for the phone to ring. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. 4 days rolls by, he hasn't called me. So I'm like, ah. So I call him up, say, hey, how you doing? First thing out of his mouth, John, there's something magical about that water. He says, my feet are killing me. You know, I didn't have any pain when I was on that water. Can you come over right now? I want to buy a machine. I went over that day, bought the machine, hooked it up for him. Okay. So that is one thing you want to do. Okay. Now, second thing you want to do, which Bob talked about, second point I want to talk about, okay, is we have a saying in our business: facts tell, stories sell. You hear Bob mention that over and over again. Stories, stories, stories. I always listen to this motivational speaker. He travels all over the world. And he says, you know what? When I go into a new town, I'm looking for new people. He says, what I do is I don't go into the town looking for the best salesman. Is I go into town at the bar and I ask, who tells the best stories in town? And oh, that's Steve. And he goes and finds the guy or the girl and tells them about his product, because they tell the best stories. You don't want, you can tell people about the properties in the water and the science and this, that, and the other, but what's going to be really important is telling them stories about the water. Now, I'm going to tell you a story about a guy that I met in the gym. I'm in the gym, and I see a guy across the gym, and I'm looking at him going, yeah, this guy looks like this guy in this TV show. And it was 10 o'clock in the morning, and everybody's at work, you know, because 10 o'clock in the morning, there's not a whole lot of people in the gym. And so I walked over to him and I said, hey, so what do you do for work? And he goes, oh, I rescue kids from all over the world. Well, little did I know he's a very high-ranking CIA agent and rescues children that are being abused all over the world, which I found out later, which he didn't tell me until like 3 weeks down the line. So I'm like, oh, okay. He goes, why? I said, well, you look like this guy in this TV show. He goes, what TV show is that? And I said, I couldn't remember, but I said 24, which is, if you guys seen the TV show 24. And he goes, oh, you mean the TV show The Blacklist? And it dawned on me, like, oh, yeah, The Blacklist. He goes, yeah, it's me. So he's also in the TV show The Blacklist, plays like a thug on it with like an ex-CIA agent anyway, because his buddy he's the godfather of the producer's son. So the producer of the show has him on the show. And anyway, so we got talking, and we talked for 45 minutes in the gym. Just we really hit it off. And after 45 minutes, he starts talking about his sister who has gout. And I said, I'm sorry, she has Hashimoto's disease. I don't know if you've heard of Hashimoto's disease, but it's a autoimmune disease, very rare autoimmune disease. And so that just lit up a light in me, because you name the disease, and I've got somebody that's had it, and the Kangen waters worked miracles on that disease or sickness. So he says Hashimoto's disease. I said, oh, I tell a story. I tell about my friend, Cindy, who had Hashimoto's disease. She went to 6 different doctors. None of these 6 doctors could diagnose her with what she had, because they're like, we have no idea what you have. But the last doctor diagnosed her with Hashimoto's disease. And I told her, Cindy, you got to try the water. Cindy, you got to try the water. Cindy, just try the water. Just try the water. She's a friend of mine. She lives about half a mile away. She finally says, okay. Within 2 weeks, she got unbelievable, miraculous results. She buys a machine. I tell this guy the story. He says, huh, interesting. Starts asking me some more questions. Well, we ended the conversation up within about an hour, just about an hour, this conversation in the gym. I see him 3 days later. He comes up to me. Hey, John, I'll ask you some more questions about that water. I tell him about the water. Okay. I see him 4 days later at the gym again. He asks me some more questions about the water. Hey, I want to ask you some more questions about the water. Okay. He said that right at the 4th time, after I get done telling him, the 3rd time, he says, yeah, I want to get one for my sister. She lives in Florida. He sends it out to Florida. Her Hashimoto's disease, miraculous results in 2 weeks. She's also walking around with a cane. She has to use a cane. She can barely walk because her legs hurt her so bad. And within 1 month, she's walking without a cane. In 3 months, she's running half marathons. And in 2 months, she lost 30 pounds. So do you think this guy is happy? This guy's ecstatic. He says to me, listen, I helped him sell about 5 or 6 machines. And he now works with a couple of the companies that I work with for cancer and cancer research and things like that. And he approaches me and talks about all the CIA stuff. And he goes, hey, John, I think we need to sell these on a bigger scale. I'm like, okay, what do you got in mind? He goes, well, we should sell these like to countries. He says, my friend is the advisor for Afghanistan, Israel, and 3 other countries. So we need to show this to him. He'll present it to these, the dictators of these countries or the presidents of these countries. They'll buy, like Afghanistan, I think they'll buy like 2,000 or 3,000 machines. And so we just need to get in front of him. I'm like, great. So the whole point of that is you just tell people stories. I can go on from one story to the next. I just told you a couple stories that you can relate to. And you're going to be able to start building these stories up all the time. I had a guy just called me up yesterday talking about how his dad has kidney problems. Actually, 2 people who have kidney problems. I found some videos. You can go to YouTube, and if a person has kidney problems, if a person has diabetes, etc., you can just put in diabetes in Kangen water, and they've got about 10, 20 testimonials from people that have gotten miraculous results with the water, with those type of problems. And then you just send the link to that person to their phone or their computer, and they watch it. And now they're excited about the water. So that is number 2. Facts tell, stories sell. Number 3, the third thing is I want to go over, and by the way, the stuff that I'm talking to you about, you're going to be using 80% of the time when you talk to people in your business, okay? Number 3 is what we call feel, felt, found. This is extremely important because any objection that you have, you simply use feel, felt, found. John, it's too expensive. You use feel, felt, found. Oh, the water I read doesn't really work. You use feel, felt, found. Oh, you know what? I just whatever excuse they have. Okay, you can use feel, felt, found. So the first one. Oh yeah, John, it's too expensive. Whatever objection they have, you're going to use feel, felt, found. This is how you do it. You know what? I know how you feel. I always say that right off the bat. Yeah, I know how you feel. Yeah. I felt the same way. Felt, feel, felt. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. I thought it was too expensive too. There's no way I was going to pay $4,000 for this machine. That's crazy. Yeah. I'm like, for water? Then found. Feel, felt. Third one is found. You know, but what I found with my research is that this thing is worth a lot more than $4,000 because what it's done for me and my body, what I've saved in taxes, the pharmaceutical grade platinum in the machine, I found that this is well worth it for me. I've saved probably $30,000 in taxes just the last 3 years. So it's been amazing, okay? Or if you find, same thing with whatever objection they have, if they say, you know what, I read something, this water really doesn't work, it's a hoax, okay? I know how you feel. I felt the same way. I'm like, water can get rid of diabetes, water can work on cancer, come on, you know, that's ridiculous. But what I found, okay, now we're at the found, but what I found is, this is the most amazing thing in the world. I can't believe if you go to scholar.google.com and put in cancer and let you reduce water, it's got all these clinical trials and studies on cancer in the Kangen water and how it greatly affects people with those and how people get miraculous results from this stuff, you know? So whatever they say, whatever objection they throw at you, feel, felt, found, okay? And so those 3 things, I would say fourthly is that, let me turn this ringer off. I would probably say fourthly is that you're just talking, make it a goal to talk to 10 people a day. The people who don't do well at this are people who just sit around and they're just not really doing anything. But you want to get around and talk to at least 10 people a day. If you're talking to 10 people a day, whether it be on the phone, whether it be meeting them in person, whatever, you're making at least 10 calls a day and talk to 10 people a day, your business will take off. And I promise you this, I know that Bob, all the guys that have made over $500,000-$600,000 the first year in this business, all did one thing, okay? All did one thing. And that thing that Bob talked about is all out massive action. Now, I started a couple businesses, and if you guys know, I don't know if you guys know this, but 84% of all new businesses fail within the first year. Do you guys know that? 84%. And when somebody told me that for the first time, I'm like, oh my gosh, it kind of makes you not want to start a new business. But with every new business that I've ever started, I knew that I had to put 120, 130% in the beginning, especially the first year, you know, because if you start a business, say for instance, you're starting a sign printing shop, you buy the real estate, you got to fix it up, all the stuff, you got to do the marketing. There is a ton of stuff to do in starting a new business. And just like this, there's a ton of stuff that you got to do too. Okay. A lot of stuff is already taken care of, but I always give this scenario. If I'm on an airplane, if I'm an airplane pilot and I've got a 747 and I've got 1,000 passengers in the back, and I get on the line, I get on the runway, and I'm getting ready. I just got the okay to take off on the plane, and I get on the microphone and say, "All right, everybody, this is Captain John here, and you know what? We're getting ready to take off, and I think I'm going to put it on half throttle, and we'll see if we can get this off." Okay, so I'm not going to give it all the gas. We're just going to give it half the gas. And so everybody hang on, and we'll see if we can get off the ground. Okay, and I put it on half throttle. Am I going to get off the ground? No, I'm going to run out of runway, and I'm going to fail, right? What the pilot does is he gets on and says, all right, everybody hang on. We're going to take off. Enjoy the flight. And what does he do? He puts it on full throttle. Whoa, and floors that thing, and the thing, and starts taking off. Now, does the pilot say, "Oh yeah, we're at 2,000 feet, so let's let off the throttle a little bit. You know, we don't want to waste too much gas here." No, he keeps it up to 5,000 feet full throttle, 10,000 feet full throttle, 32,000 feet is where he finally takes off the throttle. And in your business, you need to do the same thing. You need to give it all the gas you can to get it off the ground. And I knew that when I first started this. I knew I wanted to get to 6A and then 6A2. So I put the throttle down and I gave it all I got. Okay. So every person that has done this in Enagic is making at least $1 million a year. Now, Bob, as he says, he semi-retired after 7 years ago. And I can tell you this, if you follow Bob on Facebook, you'll see he's in Hawaii. He's got a timeshare there. He's got a timeshare up in the mountains in Utah, okay? You follow him, and he's got not just him and his wife, but he's got 4 kids he's taking with him, right? And they're traveling all over the place. Bob's having a great time. Five kids. 5 kids. Bob's saying 5. Don't forget the 5th one, okay? Bob's taking his kids all over. That's what I want to do. That's basically kind of what I'm doing right now. But now I'm kind of like to the point where, you know what? I want to pick it up again. I realize there's some certain things. I just bought the Tesla truck, you know, which I'm really excited about. That should be coming out well, it's going to take them till December to have it produced and stuff. So I'm like, that thing is so cool. So I'm looking to buy a house too. So I'm just.
You bought the Tesla truck?
Yeah.
It looks like a space, like it belongs on the moon.
Yeah, and it's faster than a Ferrari.
Really? Faster than a Ferrari. Wow.
Off-roading, and it can tow 17,000 pounds.
Wow.
So, that's gonna be the killer car on the road. So
got to see that thing.
Yeah, you need to get one. So anyway, guys, my whole point is that if you really want to be successful at this, and I'm looking at Brady. Brady's on the line here. Brady's got a lot of potential. And if Brady gave it 120%, now he's kind of in a position to, I know Brady could be a 6A 2-3. Okay. I know a lot of people on here. If you're on this call right now, it means that you're taking the time to get on here and learn and put the effort in. And I'm telling you, there is no better business. And I've seen a lot of them out there. If you look at all the direct sales marketing companies that are out there right now, they're all going down. Their sales are going down. Ours this last month, we're setting records. We're setting records. For California, it was a record month, okay? And it continues to go up. And what's great about this too is where we plant little franchises. I got about 20 franchises in different countries. And where we plant these franchises, they continue to grow and grow and grow and grow to produce a lot of fruit and a lot of money every single year. So I'm going to actually open up the line to anybody who's got, basically, I'm going to go over those 4 points again. Never give the price of the machine. Facts tell, stories sell, feel, felt, found, and talk to at least 10 people a day. So I'm going to open up the line here and I'm going to, I'll keep it recording here. I'm going to open up the line if anybody's got any questions. And then for those who are interested, who are a little fuzzy on the compensation plan, I'm going to go over that too. For those who have some questions, things like that, who are a little fuzzy on that. So everybody has, I've promoted everybody to panelists. So everybody should be able to speak. You can just unmute yourself. Does anybody have any questions? Johannes, do you got any questions?
I'm in situation that fluent German is not the things what I can do. So selling in the Germany to make a classical demonstration, this I can do. And I can do this in Czechia. So this is up to this Corona, because this is 400-600 kilometers. And then I just start to drink the water. We start to drink because we want the machine. And then, of course, I will not quit my job. So I just let the times to go. We just let it go, and we will offer and make this demonstration. We should try, but right now I can say I in the summer till November I am.
So when someone's interested, they want to get involved, they want to get a unit, but instead of a SD501 or K8, which is of course the best unit for them, that's what you always have to think, not because of the money and how much money you make, but what is the best unit for the person. And already in my head, I know all our units are great. The Level Up R is great. The Junior 2 is great. But guess what? I never sell them. Even if someone wants a Level Up R or Junior, in my 13-year career, I've sold one, I think, Level Up R and no Junior 2s. And so say someone wants to start off at a lower end. Okay, I want this. I'll get the Level Up R. I have two questions I always ask. And I already know these are yes answers. So the first question I ask is, okay, great. First of all, I ask is, does anybody in your family have any major health challenges? And I already know the answer to that question 95% of the time is yes, of course, whether it be mother, father, brother, sister, aunts, uncles, cousins, someone in their circle, right? If it's not them, it's somebody. I already know the answer is yes. And the answer is always the same. I highly recommend you get the machine that has the bigger engine. So John's showing all of them right here. So if you're showing, I highly recommend you get the SD501 or above. Okay, because it has a bigger electrolysis chamber, bigger engine. I kind of relate to cars. We got a 4-cylinder, a 6-cylinder, a V8, and then a V12 on the Super 501. And so I say the bigger the plates, the more the plates, the better, faster results they will get, which is true. So even though all the machines make ionized alkaline antioxidant water, the water is more powerful in the machines that have the bigger engines. Does that make sense? So that's my first question. Then I leave it at them. I go, second question. Would you mind, when you own one of our units, having an additional stream of income? Multiple stream of income, however you want to put it. Side income. I hear everybody saying now, I don't know if you guys heard this, side hustle. I don't know if I like that one, but that's what I'm hearing lately. Side hustle. I don't know. Hustle just sounds like a bad word to me, like someone's hustling you at pool or something. I don't know. Anyways, but I always say multiple streams or additional stream of income. And I always know the answer 95% of the time is what? Of course, who wouldn't mind extra income? And so the answer is always the same again. Well, I highly recommend, the answer is the same to both questions. I highly recommend you get the SD501 or above, because people are going to get better, faster results. And you're going to be, if you want additional income, you might be sharing the water with family and friends, whether it be on a part-time basis, doesn't matter. And you guys, not a high pressure question. And I always leave that with them. And guess what? 99% of the time, even if they said, I will take the level like I, they always come back to me, because then it's their decision. Okay. Because who doesn't want better, faster results? And then I said, the better, faster results someone gets, the more it's going to attract people to you, the more money you can make. And they always come back and say, okay, I think I better get the SD501 or K8 or Platinum. And so that's one of the things I've been using effectively for 13 years, because you guys will get that. Well, how about if I just start off on the small machine? So I know in my head that's not the best thing for them. If that's truly all, if they come back and decide that's where I'm going to start, okay, great. Let's sign them up. You know, they can always upgrade later. And then there's another thing you're going to get all the time is people are going to ask you continuously about all kind of different diseases. You know, will this work? So-and-so's got cancer. So-and-so's got diabetes. So-and-so's got this, that, whatever that disease was John said I never heard of. So there's a million things someone will hit you with, right? I say, listen, I don't know about that disease. This is what I do know. I started drinking the water, more energy, sleeping better, lost 10 pounds in 4 weeks, no more swelling in my knees. All I know is the water, you don't have to go, you don't have to know about the science and all that stuff. You guys, the more complicated you make it, the harder it is for them. They think, oh, I got to be like a scientist. And I said, I don't know about that. This is what I do know. And then all I know is when you drink this water, it helps to cleanse and detoxify your body and put your body in balance or homeostasis. Then the body's organs can work more efficiently at doing what? Healing itself. So does it really matter what disease they have? No, it doesn't matter. You tell them that is the answer to all questions. You don't have to get into any debates about a million different, different kind of diseases out there. So that's worked for me well for 13 years also.
Anybody else got any questions? You can, everybody is free to turn on their microphone and ask a question if they have anything. How many people want to see the compensation or want to understand a little bit better? How do I get out of this? Let's see.
Get out of your slide.
Okay, so if you guys want to see the compensation, I can go over that in about 10, 15 minutes. Brady, you got a question?
Yeah, I just, what what's one of the ways you generate your minimum 5 or hopefully 10 calls a day? So how do you prospect?
Well, number one is I keep a list of everybody, all my names right here.
Yeah.
And that means going over these guys and stuff. I've got about 2 or 3 people on here that are going to buy machines. And also a woman on here that I need to call and keep the pressure on, Natasha, who has a weight loss clinic. You know, Natasha, I was at, for those of you who don't know, I got my car wrapped with, and it's got tongue and water on it. And I was getting my car worked on this automotive service place. And I was just standing there, and this lady walks up to me and says, "Hey, you work with tongue and water? I see on the car there." I said, "Yeah." She said, "I own a weight loss clinic." I said, of course, my ears and my eyes perk up. And so she's like, she says, "I'd love to talk to you about tongue and water, blah, 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 blah." Great. Okay. So she bought a machine. That was easy. But the thing is, she needs to give it to her clients. Well, she's really not giving it to her clients. She could easily be making an extra $5,000, $10,000 a month just on the sale of the machine with her practice. So these are all people that I keep a list of. And I got a tow truck driver that just towed my friend's car out of my parking spot and saw my car and was asking about it. I brought him up to my place, did a 5-minute, 10-minute demonstration. And what I did too is that he drank 5 glasses of water. I just kept having pound it and pound it and pound it. Boy, did he feel a difference. If you can get somebody to drink 5, 6 glasses of water in a half hour, you're in business. Okay.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Hey, we're always adding to the list, right? When John talks about a list, Brady, see here, look at that.
Oh, there you go. Let's see, Bob.
Huh?
Yeah, let's see. So you see the notes he's put on there too. So I used to keep it in a different. I used to keep my list on a different in a little booklet thing, and I find this works so much better because it's sitting right there in front of me, and I can just flip the pages and cross the guys out as I go along. This works a lot better.
I like writing stuff down too. Some people use, automated stuff, but I also load. First, the name goes on a piece of paper or from a business card. And then I load them. As you'll see here, I have a stack that I have to still load a few cards here.
Where's that, Bob?
These are just cards I collect from people or whatever. Give me your card,
And you
I
put
meet
it
somebody.
in your EWS?
I load them in EWS. A lot of times now someone doesn't have a card or something because I don't even have a card. I go to my app on EWS right on my phone, and I load them in right on my phone while I'm talking to them. And then I get them. What are you interested in? The health and wellness ebook, or you're interested in the business ebook, or both? And then I can click on which one I'm going to send them, and then I automatically send them the health and wellness newsletter. So they're getting dripped on, you guys, by the EWS system. And then actually you can go back in your system, even though it automatically sends things to them, that only lasts for so much time. I don't know if it's 3 months. You can go in there, simple ways to send whatever message you want to send to them, or even create your own custom messages. Like you want to do your own video and send them all the people. So you got to collect all those people on a database that you can easily send them like one message, and just as a reminder, a lot of people aren't going to buy right away. They may not buy. I just had 2 people buy after 2 years, of knowing me, seeing a demonstration, whether that was live or online. And now that all this is going on, they're contacting me. Hey, I need to order one of your machines. I sent them to my website. Okay, just order right online here. I had a couple of those last week. So you just got to keep dripping on the people one way or the other, But EWS is a good place to collect them no matter where you're making your list, but load them into EWS and then drip on them. I love our new EWS. It's the best site they've ever created, is the new one. The one with what's the TV show? Trading Spaces or
Yeah, Trading. Yeah, I think
Trading
right.
Spaces. That's beautiful site.
So this is what Bob was telling you about. He gets business cards. He comes over here to the contact manager, hits that, and add contact, and then put the name, address, and everything on here.
Yeah, so that's if I'm home, but if I'm out and about, meet someone, which not a lot lately, right? Because of this social distancing and, but I would, like if I'm in an Uber, getting a ride somewhere, I'm always talking to my driver, you know, hey, how do you like your job? How's business? You know, I'm always asking questions, right? Just ask it, don't pitch them. Just ask them questions. Just keep asking questions. They're going to tell you what it is. And you're going to find the opportunity then to introduce, hey, based on what you told me, I might have something you'd be interested in taking a look at, you know, additional income stream, whatever it is they're answering your question for. And then I'll pull out my phone. I click on the app right on my phone, which is, we have the Emobi app. As long as you're signed up for the websites, you can get the Emobi app. And then I can, I ask, so what's your full name? And I punch it in. What's your email? What's your phone number? You only need 4 things to load in there. And then you click on send them your health and wellness newsletter. That drips on them every week for, I forgot how many weeks, if it's 10 weeks, whatever. And then they get a free ebook. So they can get 4 choices of an ebook, whether it's the eco-friendly ebook, there John's showing it now, eco-friendly ebook, business ebook. If I'm asking them questions about supplemental income, side business, extra income, of course, I want them to get the health and wellness newsletter and the business ebook. If they're just talking about health, you know, I'll ask them, I'll send them the, you know, the free ebook about the health ebook and the health and wellness newsletter. And then I'll ask them once again, even if they're just answering questions about health or something, hey, do you know anybody who'd like an additional stream of income? Even if it's not them, right? Most people say, oh, sure. Hey, maybe my brother's looking for something. Great, I'll send you the business ebook also. So you got to do that separately.
Now, before I forget, I have a webinar tomorrow where I'm going to go do a live demonstration. Well, I'm going to be doing a demonstration online, but I'm also going to have a guest speaker. His name is Roger Goudet. And Roger has a great story.
Great story.
So this story is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And after we do his story, I'm going to have him talk about 20, 25 minutes. And then I'm going to go into a demonstration. And then, yeah, we're basically doing those 2 things. And I'm trying to bring on I had Wade Lightheart on last Thursday too, which Daniel was talking about on his call. And if you have anybody that is in the fitness industry or anybody who's interested in losing body fat, and any women who are looking to lose body fat, have better nails, hair, etc., that's what we cover. And guys who are trainers or owners of gyms are going to want to see this, because they're going to understand why Wade makes an extra $300,000 a year just from our business, and how he basically thought he knew everything about bodybuilding. I mean, it's phenomenal testimony and story. And so if I have somebody that like I got a guy who owns a gym, and him and his partner, I'm going to have him watch that video, and that's going to do all the talking, because they're going to hear Wade Lightheart's story, how he gave up on bodybuilding because it took so much out of him. It ruined his digestive system, and he gained 60 pounds in 11 weeks of fat and water, and how the Kong water totally changed his life around, where it normally take him 6 to 8 months to train for Mr. Canada contest. He decided to do it in 3 weeks, because he had lost 5% body fat in 2 weeks, and his VO2 max almost doubled. And he said felt like he could run through the walls of his training, because he just felt all this energy. And in 3 weeks, he entered the Mr. Canada contest. If you know anything about bodybuilding, bodybuilders will stop drinking water. bodybuilders will stop drinking water 3 days before competition. And they're basically having like 2-3 ounces of water a day for 3 days. It is very difficult to do. I've done it before. And instead of doing that, which all the other competitors were doing that he was going up against, instead, he was drinking a gallon of water through the competition, which is the total opposite. Because when you drink water, it doesn't make you look really vascular, it doesn't pop your muscles out. But this Kangen water, it was doing that to him, and he realized that. He was drinking as much water as he could through the competition and won. So he talks about all that stuff. So if you have anybody that is in the fitness industry or is interested in losing body fat, all this stuff, you want to show them that video. Because it's, you know. And then this week with Roger Goodette, we're going to be talking about how it works psychologically with any type of brain disorder or detoxification or what's the word I'm looking for? Bipolarism, things like that, and which Roger's going to be talking about. So we're going to kind of hit different areas in which people interest people that would interest in water. Any questions, you guys?
Yeah, where do we find the video for Wade Lightheart for the bodybuilders and that?
You can go to my YouTube station, John Swartstrom, and pull it off of it.
Okay.
And it should be the first one that comes up, actually. I got about
Hey, John, that was my question. So when your Zoom recordings you put on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I try and get those up as soon as possible on YouTube.
Okay.
And now those of you who, for instance, I did a webinar because I wanted to approach the coronavirus situation. And we talked about, I had a scientist on there who was one of the head scientists of Amgen and also a doctor who has 13 clinics. And I wanted people to realize that they need this machine and drive it home to help fight against the coronavirus, which is what we talked about in a roundabout way. And then I also had Dr. Filcher get on and did a webinar with Dr. Filcher. Now, I took it off YouTube, but if anybody wants to use that and share it, we had 10,000 views in 10 days. That's a phenomenal one because he gets on there and talks about how it works with the coronavirus. So if you have any doctors, especially, you know, who talk doctor technical terms, that's when you want to send them. So you got somebody who's into fitness or losing weight, a woman wants to have better skin and nails, you show them the Wade Lightheart one. You got a doctor that wants to know about, you know, how it disinfects and things like that, you show them the Dr. Filcher video. If you got a family that's interested in like, man, I need to help protect my family against the coronavirus, then we got the one with the doctor and the scientist. And if you have somebody with mental health or maybe has Alzheimer's, ADD, or wants to feel more energy, etc., maybe feels a little depressed, and you want to get them on Thursday's webinar. So you kind of approach it, whatever person's story that they have, you give them the story that relates to that.
Lori.
Okay. Thank you. One other question with King and One Global, they had the career webinar. If we hop on weeks ago, do you know if they have those on there to, because I'd like to keep showing that one to people.
Yes, we have the replay of that, which is up right now. If you go to Kong and One Global, you can hit the replay on that. And yeah.
Okay, and that's not the one that was last night. That's the one that was like 2 weeks ago. There'll be a replay button for that.
There's
as
only
well.
one, and that one is from yesterday. From the one
how about the one? Okay, how about the one before that 2 weeks ago? Is there a way to see that one or send it to people to access it?
I don't think so. I think once it's been up for a month, we can check and see. I think that's after that they take it down because it's time relevant as to that particular time. Now, also, you guys. So a couple of things you want to mark on your calendars real quick. Is the call that we have every Saturday with Eli. I think I never miss it. I'm always on that Saturday morning at 9 o'clock Pacific time. I'm also doing a training every Tuesday at noontime, just like we're doing now. Questions, answers, basically kind of beginner stuff. The stuff that I told you guys, the 4 things I went over, that should be 80% of the people that you talk to, you're going to use that for. Okay. So that's Tuesday at 12 o'clock, Thursday, we got the online demonstration at 6:30. And I had the flyer for that. I'm going to post it. Oh, and another thing too is I would join Kangen Business Builders. Kangen Business Builders is a great site to get a lot of training, meet people, be current on all the events. You can also, Bob did a great video explaining the compensation plan about 3 weeks ago. That's up there too. So you can pull up any videos that are on there. Kelly and Gail run that. They do a fantastic job. Any other questions? Tian, you got any questions? Oh, good. Okay. All right, guys. I think that is about it. If you need to contact me on Facebook or on my cell phone, and as well as Bob. So thank you everybody for being on the call. Veronique, you have a question?
Thank you. No, I can just contact you afterwards. That career webinar was really, really good. And I've had Angel shared it with people, and I'd love to be able to share that some more. So I want to see if there's a way we can access that somehow still.
Okay.
It was on Kangen One Global. It was a career webinar about 2 weeks ago. It wasn't a month ago. It was about 2 weeks ago. And so when you would go on there, you would hit replay and it would work. But then now they've got the new one. So I'm wondering if they're archived or there's any way to get that career webinar. It was awesome.
We'll have to ask him.
Okay. Yeah, that was really good. She had a lot of success having people watch that. It was really, really awesome.
And also get you guys feedback too if there's something that you want to. What I want to do is have a training once a week, a demonstration once a week, and also a business opportunity once a week. So training, demo, and business opportunity.
Okay.
Business opportunity probably on Saturday, I think. But see, I'm trying to find a time right now where, because it's 10:30 right now, actually 10:30 in Europe right now, 12 o'clock our time, or 1:30 our time, and in New Zealand it's 8:30. So we're trying to find a time for everybody. So I think maybe we'll do that this Saturday. Probably we'll do an opportunity call, and I know Daniel's going to be doing one too, right, Bob?
Thursday.
Thursday, not but the following.
Okay, Thursday, the following Thursday?
Yeah, we want to start. Yeah, took me. I got the GoToWebinar back, John.
Okay.
It'll hold up to people.
Okay.
So we're going to get going. I think he wants to do a weekly presentation and a weekly training.
Okay. And business opportunity?
Yeah. With testimonials.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to be putting that together too. I'm going to shoot for Saturday. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a business presentation. It's really good. I got some really good slides. It's going to take about 20, 25 minutes, and then we'll have like 10 minutes of testimonials on there too. And we'll try that out for this. We'll do that this Saturday. Bob, if you can be on there at 12 noon time.
I think that'll work. All right.
Will those be recorded, John?
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be awesome. And then we will find those on your YouTube then?
Yeah, I'm going to, the one with Roger Cadet, I'm going to post on my Facebook page, and also on Kangen Business Builders.
Okay. All right.
Guys, I got to run.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, guys. Make it a great week. Oh, there it is. Okay, we'll send this out to you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.